What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be checking out 10 times Jeremy Clarkson dropped the act and showed his true self. So far, we've only seen a handful of things from Jeremy Clarkson. Obviously, Victoria Cross was the big one that we saw, but we also saw a few Top Gear episodes over on the Patreon channel, and I feel like I've seen something else with him.
It does seem like it, but I can't think of anything else.
I can't think of what it is. I like Jeremy Clarkson so far with the stuff I've seen him in.
He has a very interesting personality.
Yeah.
And he seems like a very unique character.
Yeah.
I know on the few things we've seen from him on Top Gear, his personality, I think, is overplayed on there a little bit. Like, I think he, not overplayed, I don't know how to say it. Like, I think he exaggerates his personality on there.
Number 10. Cycling support.
Act your age. Get a car.
Known for his passion for cars, at the slight sniff of an opportunity, Clarkson will slate cyclists for various reasons. After all, in 2023, he called it anti-capitalism with handlebars, which, if anything, made it sound a lot cooler. However, there have been several instances throughout his career when Clarkson has been positive about bikers. In 2012, he'd stated he'd live in Denmark's Copenhagen in an instant due to the city's passion for two wheels. In 2019, whilst a guest on the Jonathan Ross show, even though he took some shots at the hobby, Clarkson still praised cycling for helping him to lose weight when he was in China.
I didn't know. I went on a gap year to Indochina. They've just got a better diet out there. Plus, I had a bicycle rather than a car.
Number 9. Praising hospital staff.
So we haven't seen a lot of Top Gear, but apparently he hates on bikes and bikers.
Well, he obviously he loves the cars. I know that so far.
Right? Yeah, true. It reminds me of when we used to live out in the country in North Carolina.
Oh my goodness!
And there used to be like this big group of cyclists.
I thought you were supposed to say bikers.
Not bikers, no, cyclists.
Yeah.
And they rode in a pack, and I don't know if all cyclists are like this. Probably not. But this group, I mean, it was a big group.
50 people? I don't know. It was huge.
And these are like curvy country roads that are hard to see around the curves. You can't really pass safely. They would ride literally like in the middle of the road and would not let you pass. Like they would be spread out like obnoxiously to block you instead of riding like 2 by 2.
It was almost like they were offended that you were driving a car on their road.
That's what it felt like.
And it's one thing if it was like one or 2 or 3 people, but we're talking a whole pack of people that were like taking up the entire road.
And they were
and
hateful too. Like if you ever found an opportunity to pass, they'd like flip you off or like cuss you. Like it was not fun living out there because of that.
I will say there's no way that most of them were from the area I was raised in, because the people that I was raised around, the area was pretty small town, rural area, and everybody was really friendly. So I think these people were from outside and they moved in or something.
Anyway, that's off topic, but it just reminded me of.
Yeah.
To have an emergency procedure on his heart after feeling unwell on holiday.
In 2024, Clarkson noticed a
recent
drop in his stamina whilst on holiday in the Indian Ocean as he struggled with simple activities. Upon returning to the UK, his symptoms got worse, with pins and needles in his left arm, chest tightness, and feeling clammy.
While they were testing for a heart attack, they found my arteries were all blocked. So if I hadn't have been scrolling on my telephone in such a way that my arm got pins and needles,
oh my goodness,
I never would have put 2 and 2 together and never would have called the doctor and never would have gone to hospital. So
the presenter was then taken to the John Radcliffe Hospital in Headington, Oxford, via an ambulance, where a heart attack was ruled out. However, one of the arteries feeding the vital organ was blocked, and another was going in the same direction. Clarkson had a stent fitted to open up the blocked arteries, and he's doing better. Upon announcing the news, he's been vocal about his support for the hospital staff that looked after him, calling them tremendous.
So I was in grave danger without realising it. But they put a stent in, and 2 stents, in fact. And here I am.
Number 8.
That's close to home. My dad passed away at an early age because of a massive heart attack, and he'd already had a few. He had his first in his 30s. But he was a very heavy smoker and, didn't take care of himself that much. But I want to say that This also reminds me of, like, you know, we recently did a video about our health insurance, and I was just thinking about, like, in, you know, the UK, you guys have the NHS, you have, obviously he's probably pretty financially well off either way,
right.
But I'm thinking, you know, for people in the UK that have, you know, found themselves in the same position as him, financially, it wouldn't be the stress that it potentially could be here.
Yeah.
And I think people are more likely somewhere like the UK to actually go and discover that.
And the fact that he went there by ambulance, even though it didn't seem like it was an emergency type situation we would think of, like, to call an ambulance. So that just goes to show the difference as well. Like, here, people are like, unless it's literally out of your control.
Yeah, when you think about something like that, it really is an unfortunate situation we have here. Like, I mean, if you have great health insurance here, you're probably not going to, if like low deductible and stuff, you're probably not going to wait this long. But a lot of people, even if they're affording the health insurance, it's usually like a very high deductible, and you're like second guessing going and doing something that you're like not sure about.
Right.
But yeah.
Oh, this must be Clarkson Farms.
To aid him in his bee juice business, better known as honey, Clarkson has Victor and Lucy Zaichenko working for him as beekeepers at the Diddley Squat farm.
Ukraine, family okay?
Yeah, they're okay. Yeah, they're okay. They're alive, that's amazing. Rockets flying around, but they toughy.
After being born in Ukraine and studying in the capital, Kyiv, Victor was concerned for his family.
Oh, I thought they meant Jeremy Clarkson.
Yeah, I did too.
2022. So he created a crowdfunder to raise money for a truck and supplies to help.
You can donate money, which will help them buy vehicles that they need to evacuate people who are stuck behind the Russian lines. I can hardly believe I'm saying this.
Clarkson promoted the campaign on social media, leading to fans donating £53,771 and achieving their goal. Another person who appeared on Clarkson's farm was Emma Ledbury, who lost half her cattle to tuberculosis. She sold produce in his shop to stay afloat. Rebecca Poole created a fundraiser for Ledbury, which achieved its £40,000 target. Number 7. Helping farming businesses.
You, Jeremy, have received a letter from the council.
One of the biggest issues the presenter faced on Clarkson's farm was getting his restaurant built, with a load of council red tape blocking his every path. This led to Clarkson lobbying for a government solution to help him and other farmers struggling to make ends meet.
Locally produced food sold in this restaurant.
Known colloquially as Clarkson's Clause, this 2024 law change allows farmers to adapt unused buildings on their land into shops, restaurants or homes without the need for planning permission.
The UK government made reforms to what's called permitted development regulations in May. These allow for some agricultural buildings to be converted for other uses. The issue has recently gained large attention.
With farmers often finding themselves struggling for income, Clarkson's work promoting this issue has allowed them to bring in more cash, saving their livelihoods. Number 6.
That should have been something that had to be changed in the first place, in my opinion. I feel like if you've got a building on your property, you should be able to do whatever you want with it, you know, within reason.
As long as you're not hurting anything.
Right. If you've got an extra building, you should absolutely just be able to go and, you know, sell your produce or whatever you're selling.
Or turn it into a restaurant or whatever.
Right. And it's like, it's a shame that so many things you have to go through governmental planning for. It's just like, if it's on your property and as long as it's not hurting somebody else's property, it should be free game for you to do what you want to. It's your business. It's your property. So that's awesome that he was able to get that changed.
Supporting farmers struggling with mental health.
Caleb? Farming can get pretty tough, can't it?
Yeah, as a whole, I mean, it's an incredibly hard job.
Clarkson hasn't always shown sensitivity when it comes to mental health, but in 2024, he stepped up in a big way for the farming community. Throughout Clarkson's farm, the presenter has showcased the lows that the job has to offer, which can cause havoc on mental health. After all, the job is incredibly difficult and can cause workers in the field to suffer with one of the lowest mental health rates in industries. So Clarkson teamed up with mental health charity Shout to launch a text service for farmers struggling with their mental health.
Farming can be a bit of a struggle, so if you're finding it a bit tough at the moment, text Hawkston to 85258. That's
With funding from his own Hawkston beverage brand, farmers can text Hawkston to 85258 to speak with a trained volunteer at any time of the day or night for tailored treatment.
got to be worth it, rather than suffering in silence.
Number 5. Patron of Help for Heroes.
What you're doing is really properly incredible.
Away from farming and cars, one of Clarkson's biggest passions is the military. In 2007, Help for Heroes was created, a charity which specialises in giving support to members of the British Armed Forces and their families. Clarkson became a patron of the group the same year it was created.
There was a lot of anti-war feeling kicking around at the time and had been for about 5 years. And it seemed to me that it was unfair on the soldiers, that they were getting stick for something over which they had no controls.
It became a pivotal part of raising awareness and funding for the charity, taking part in various events throughout the years.
Join in with the hero, right? Be a hero yourself, but not as big a hero as the people on those hand bikes.
However, the relationship came to an end in 2022, after Clarkson made some controversial comments about Meghan Markle in a column for The Sun, which...
Oh.
At night when I sleep as I lie there, grinding my teeth and dreaming of the day when she's made to parade. Oh, okay. Whoa, okay. This must have something to do with her and Harry. I don't really. I still don't understand all that stuff. I've heard bits and pieces of like the relationship. Went basically completely downhill with his brother and his dad, or Harry's brother and dad.
They live in the U.S. now, right?
Yeah, I think they do. But I really don't know nothing about the ins and outs of that situation. But I know it seemed like it happened around the time that, at least from what I remember in the back of my head, like around the time, shortly after they got married or something, him and Meghan Markle, they just went completely downhill. So I don't know if she is to fully blame for it. I have no idea.
Caused severe backlash. Help for Heroes cut ties with him. Number 4. Creating a special day for ill child. In 2024, the charity Tailor Made Dreams, which give children with life-limiting illnesses the chance to have their dreams met, made Joshua's ambition come to life with the aid of Clarkson. Suffering from the bone cancer Ewing sarcoma, Joshua and his family were able to get a personal tour around the Diddley Squat farm with the presenter. On top of meeting the adorable animals, Joshua was able to hold the Stig's helmet from Top Gear, received some farm gifts from the shop, and got a ride in Clarkson's Lamborghini tractor.
The Lamborghini tractor.
To traverse the farm, Tailor Made Dreams also gave Joshua an electric off-road wheelchair.
That's
Number 3.
cool.
That is awesome.
Reaction to cows.
An off-road wheelchair. That is phenomenal
that
for a
like
kid.
Something very Top Gear.
It does.
So that makes sense.
And I was just sitting there thinking, like, for a kid that's in a wheelchair, that there's kids that go out and they're playing outside in the fields and stuff like that. And you can imagine how that could affect them in a negative way. They want to go do these things, but they can't. But with a off-road wheelchair, he now has the opportunity to potentially go places. Yeah, that's the thing. He can access a lot more places than he could before.
It reminds me of those. Have you seen the electric wheelchair kind of? I guess that's what they're called. But they have like tracks that are like bulldozer tracks almost.
Yes.
So you could take
Yeah, I wonder if that's similar to what he got.
I don't know.
That's cool
he was
though.
in it, wasn't he?
I don't know.
That orange wheelchair.
But I didn't see the tracks.
Like handlebars.
I didn't see like the wheels or anything.
It didn't look super off-road there, but maybe it wasn't that one.
Yeah.
Through Series 2 of Clarkson's Farm, we saw a side to Clarkson that doesn't get looked at too much. With his herd of cows, one in particular stuck out for him, Pepper, which he formed a bond with and kept even when she couldn't get pregnant.
Lisa, we've got a pet cow.
However, in Series 3, to make room for pigs to help boost the farm's income, half the cow herd was sent to an abattoir, including Pepper. Clarkson was devastated by this decision, as he spoke fondly about seeing the cows each morning and hearing their cow noises.
They do seem
just
sweet.
ask Pepper's claim, obviously.
Yeah.
What do you think will become of her?
I wouldn't ask too many questions about Pepper. Don't ask questions you don't want to know the answer to.
However, it wasn't all devastation. Later on, we saw the joy of Clarkson and partner Lisa Hogan as they reunited with Pepper after she gave birth to a calf, Tabitha.
I'm just so thrilled.
I know.
She's still around.
Look
That's
at
so
that little baby.
sweet.
That's fantastic.
Aww.
Number 2.
I must say, I am a huge fan of cows. It might seem weird to some people, but I love cows. One of my favorite animals. I grew up with cows.
Their eyes, they just seem so sweet.
They are. Yeah, I mean, they can be. They can also...
they can get mean.
They can, and they can run fast if they need to. But I love cows. I didn't grow up with them my entire childhood, but I grew up with them for a period of my childhood. I love cows. They're amazing. I think probably my favorite farm animal, I believe.
I like it. Horses are nice.
But I will say I was never around sheep. So like I know that in the UK sheep are very popular. They're everywhere. I think probably similar to the amount of cows from what it seems looking from the outside. And so maybe if I was around sheep, maybe I would like them just as much.
The heavy loss.
How are you all? Piggies.
Working on a farm can be hugely rewarding for the soul, but it can also break your heart when nature shows its ugly side. In Series 3 of Clarkson's farm, several litters of piglets were accidentally crushed by their mothers, which is not uncommon by this particular breed, the Oxford Sandy and Black.
She was lying on one of them. That's how 2 of them have obviously died.
Clarkson and Hogan desperately tried to save one by hand-feeding it inside their home, but it was sadly not successful. Broken hearts of the couple were clear to see on their faces. To make it worse, one of the sows, Baroness, was shown to be ill and had to be euthanized, making it even more devastating for the farm.
I can't do this. I can't have pigs anymore, honestly.
Number 1. Donation to Grenfell victims. In 2017, a tragedy happened in North Kensington,
Did you hear about that?
London, when a fire broke out at the block of flats.
I checked out a video about it.
Space to house up to 600 people. 74 were injured.
It was horrible.
72 sadly lost their lives.
Oh my goodness.
In the immediate aftermath, Clarkson paused his brash public persona and showed his kinder side. He took everything clean in his wardrobe and donated it to the victims who'd lost everything in the blaze. The presenter then put out statements on his social media platforms motivating others to do the same or donate money to help the victims rebuild. Over the years since, Clarkson has regularly raised awareness about the tragedy and encouraged the government to make sure it doesn't happen again. Which other controversial UK celeb do you think is secretly a good person?
Wow.
Controversial UK celeb. Secretly a good person.
Well, I get what they're saying. Like some people put on this brash personality, for example, like
Simon Cowell might be another one. Like
he's
I've
wondered about
pretty harsh, especially on like American Idol.
And I'll tell you something. What's his name? Gordon Ramsay.
Yeah, Gordon.
You know, like if you were just to check in on Hell's Kitchen, for example, and you didn't see anything else.
He's like the biggest jerk in the world.
Yeah,
but I think a lot of that isn't like just played up.
Oh, he's totally not. He is such a nice guy, man. He is. I don't know if he's done like charitable. I don't know anything about that, but like I'm just saying, like in general, he seems like a really nice guy once you get to the other side of the exterior.
Yeah.
But this definitely helped open my eyes a bit to Jeremy Clarkson and his personality a little bit more. Yeah. I mean, obviously, you never know when you're looking at a celebrity how they're going to be, but overall, this made him seem like he has a good heart underneath the exterior.
And it seems like as the years have gone on, maybe he's becoming more soft.
Yeah.
And that happens sometimes.
Well, I think
as you get older, you
live life and you have things happen to you, and then when you see things happen, when you see things happen to other people, you are able to connect with it and have that understanding. But this made me want to check out more from Jeremy Clarkson. I really like him as a personality.
Yeah.
From what I've seen so far,
he's definitely a character.
Yeah, I can see why he became a presenter in a lot of cases.
I want to see Clarkson's farm now.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah, that'll be interesting. But guys, let us know in the comments. What do you think of Jeremy Clarkson? What other programs has he been in besides Top Gear, some military stuff like Victoria Cross, and
Greatest Rate of All Time.
Greatest Rate of All Time, and his farm show? I feel like there's some other things. I feel like I've seen something else from him at some point, but I can't put my finger on what it is.
Yeah, it does seem like there's something.
But anyways, guys, I think that's it for today. Thank you so much for stopping by. Please click that like button. Feel free to drop your comments or suggestions about this video or others. And don't forget to subscribe to continue to follow us on our journey. Until next time, peace.
Bye.